How we doing today, everybody? WatchDisplay here with another video. Thank you for joining me. And today I thought I'd talk about a little bit of something that I feel like is a lot, is an issue that a lot of guys have when we're buying watches. Our missus tends to not really like it, all the buying and selling and, you know, this and that, wire transfers. So I thought I'd talk about maybe a way to potentially get the missus into getting watches herself. And I've tried this once before and it was a little unsuccessful, and unfortunately I let her decide a little bit more on the watch with less input of myself. Lost a little bit of money on it. However, this time around I decided to do most of the research, basically arrange everything other than, hey, this is the one you're getting. And I did let her see it in person before I made the initial, because I actually paid cash for it. Found a nice, trustworthy forum member online. So what I went with this second time, it's actually the same watch, but just a different year or whatnot, is the Ladies Rolex DateJust. The wonderful thing about the Rolex DateJust and just the regular Oyster Perpetual, that looks very similar to the Rolex DateJust, however, it does not have a date. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but the actual case is 1 millimeter less. And what's nice about this model, and kind of similar to the men's DateJust and the older, 36 millimeter models as well, is they go years upon years without changing the models. So one huge thing that I would say when you're getting the watch for the missus is do not tell her the year. A lot of times women hear the word vintage or the year, say late 90s, early 2000s, or say you even go with the late 80s or early 90s. And they don't like that. They think they're getting an old watch. So you just show them a whole bunch of watches together and basically you look for a good deal. The thing about women's watches is they don't, and this is my experience, they don't sell as easy. So you have to make sure you get a good deal. And the first time I didn't really do that, and I did lose I think about $600 on the first one when we sold it. It basically just collected dust in the safe. But this time I made sure I got a steal deal, and I made sure there was a way that I could also potentially make money on the actual watch itself. And more about the actual watch. So this is a late 90s model, two-tone. You're going to find a lot of these too. A lot of the bracelets are pretty significantly stretched. It's just kind of the game with these watches. But this one has the nice white and gold Roman numeral dial, and it has somewhat of a vintage look to it. And what I really like about this watch is it has a white gold diamond bezel. The thing that's kind of cool about this is the bezel actually sticks out about 2 millimeters on each side. So the appearance of this gives it a larger size, closer to the newer models that are offered for the women's DateJust models. So when my wife was seeing these in the stores, a lot of times they were the third, I believe if I'm not mistaken, it's a 33 millimeter or a 31, I can't remember. And this is dang near that. So it looks almost the same on the wrist. However, the bracelet is a little different, obviously. But this one has channel set diamonds. You can see they're all channel set, which is a little bit nicer quality. It is an aftermarket bezel. It's made of, I believe it's 18 karat white gold. But what I like about this is I got a steal deal on this watch. I got this watch for $2,000 cash money. And the thing with this is, if my wife ever decided she didn't want to do the diamond bezel, these diamonds are pretty good quality. I'd say probably SI1, probably H color, without looping it right here and that, right this second. But I can take this bezel off and get her an 18 karat yellow gold fluted bezel for $80 probably on eBay, as long as it's an actual OEM bezel. And I can sell this bezel, and I actually got the watch even cheaper. So it allows me to actually, change the watch up a little bit if she gets tired of this diamond bezel. And so far, so good. She's actually worn this multiple times compared to the old one. She probably only wore maybe 4 times total in over a year. So it's already gotten more use than that. I didn't go into crazy detail when I was looking for this for like original finish and because she doesn't really know what the original Rolex finish is, and honestly I doubt she even cares. So it's the best price and the brand presence. I showed her a few other models. I showed her some of the Omegas. I showed her Chapard. I showed her Cartier. None of them really sang to her other than the Rolex, and I think it's just the name. She wanted another Rolex. Rolex is a name that everyone knows, and it's not a crazy expensive watch. I mean, you can go to the store, the shopping store, like say a Macy's or a Neiman Marcus, and get a Michelle watch if you don't buy, used, and you're going to spend $1,000. Yeah, of course it's brand new and it has warranty and all that kind of stuff, but this watch is a great buy for $2,000. She gets a great brand presence, and you get a watch that you can pass down. So this one did come. It came with the nice cloth. Sorry, my little dog's acting up. He thinks he's part of this video. It came with the original box. Actually, I'm not positive this is the original box. It might have originally came with the red box. Don't quote me on that. But it did come with the cool vintage looking matte box that they used to come with, and of course papers, which is really big when you're buying these women's watches. Make sure you have the papers, because if you decide trading in isn't always the best thing, but say they want something that's at a store and you can get it a lot cheaper if you were say trade this in, it's definitely good to have these papers and at least the box. This one did not come with the pillow, because many of you know these old pillows, they pretty much disintegrate. They weren't made very good back then, and I don't know how well the new ones are made anyway. I'll have to see with time. But this one was definitely refinished, but whoever did it did a really good job. It looks very close to the original Rolex finish, and polish looks really nice. And so far it's been running very accurate. Just without hooking it up to an actual machine, I think it's been running about plus or minus 7 seconds a day. Actually when it's on the wrist. So yeah, it's a great buy, and that's just a great option. I'll give you all more of an input and review on the watch once we have more time with it. But so far so good with this one, and she's enjoying it, and I think it's a great buy. And I've noticed that she's already looking at other watches again. She showed me an Omega the other day online. And she's like, I really like this. I think it was an Aquaterra, if I'm not mistaken. It was a mother of pearl dial Aquaterra that she liked. So I feel like once someone can understand the hobby a little bit, they allow a little bit more justification when you want to get a new piece. Now I'm not saying go out and buy a Patek or spend $20,000 and $30,000. My wife would throw me outside in the pool. But yeah, it's a great watch, and I'll do a further extensive review on it, but I just wanted to give you my input on getting the missus into wearing a watch. I mean, women love accessories, but I find it very hard that sometimes they don't really care for, they're more into fashion watches. They're more into like Michael Kors and like Marc Jacobs, and I wouldn't really consider Michelle quite a fashion watch, because some of their watches do have real diamonds. But my wife would wear the Marc Jacobs, the Kate Spade watches, and all that kind of stuff. But she really would never wear like the nice watches. So it's good that I finally got her back into it. Let's hope she keeps it. I'm going to give you guys a nice close-up on the dial here, and get to see the nice bezel.